PA on. Okay. Call to order, please. If you all will join me. If you all will join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, please remain standing while Sherry Mead from Prayer Lowell will lead us in prayer.
Our most gracious Heavenly Father, we thank you for the privilege of being here this evening. And we praise you for loving us. And we thank you, Lord, that you directed us in your word, that we were to pray for all those who are in authority, so that we could live peaceful and quiet lives in all godliness and holiness. So, Father, it's with that admonition that we come to you tonight, and we ask you to give us wisdom. Give to our officials, Lord, the wisdom that you have and that you would want them to know to make the decisions that they will be making tonight that affects all of us. And thank you for the comfort when you said that you are no respecter of persons. And for that reason, we know that you care just as much about the affairs of Lowell as you do for any other large metropolitan city in our country. Thank you for your protection and for your goodness that you have given to Lowell. And we humbly ask you to be with us in these proceedings this night. In Jesus' name, amen.
Roll call, please.
Kamala Lamons.
Here.
Jerry Foley.
Here.
Eric Shine.
Here.
Darren Brock.
Here.
Keith Williams.
Here.
Carol Harmon.
Present.
Marty Latham.
Here.
We do have a quorum.
Next item on the agenda is the consent agenda, which contains the Lowell City Council minutes for the regular meeting June the 19th. I entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Keith Williams.
Yes.
Carol Harmon.
Yes.
Jerry Foley.
Here. Yes.
Darren Brock.
Yes.
Eric Shine.
Yes.
Kamala Lamons.
Yes.
Marty Latham.
Yes.
Next item, I would like approval from the council to amend the agenda. First item is appropriation of funds. A memo to authorize the transfer of unallocated funds for the purpose of purchasing a surveillance and security camera for the communications tower. Second item is a resolution authorizing the mayor and city clerk to execute an agreement modifying the water service boundary between the cities of Lowell, Rogers, and Springdale, Arkansas.
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to add those items to the agenda. I'd also like to move item A behind B and C so we don't unnecessarily hold up some folks here that on something that could be lengthy. I think if we take care of item B and C under new business before item A, that could allow some folks not have to stay around all night.
I'll second that.
Roll call.
Jerry Foley.
Yes.
Marty Latham.
Yes.
Eric Shine.
Yes.
Darren Brock.
Yes.
Kamala Lamons.
Yes.
Keith Williams.
Yes.
Carol Harmon.
Yes.
Do we have any committee reports? Uh-oh. Yeah, I've got that. Okay, no committee reports. Public forum. Guy Shoemaker.
Frank kind of just don't run away. Frank caught me kind of off guard tonight. So here's $100 to match Frank's contribution. Now I have another $300 in anticipation that the three council persons who haven't contributed to the building fund will make will make the contributions. Because I know they got money. They just got a $750 payday last month. And I challenge the chief of police and the chief of fire department to also kick in 100. Thank you, Mayor.
Jeanette, did you take those challenges down?
No. They're still up.
Okay. Tommy Wood. Speak, please. Okay. Okay. That'd be fine. You want to talk about an item on the agenda? It's not on the agenda. You may speak right now, please.
I was speaking in favor of the puppy sales that we have here in Lowell. And they had a lengthy meetings on this, and the ordinance was drawn up, which is very fair to everyone concerned. On our particular situation, we have worked with the City Blessings for now about a year and a half, and about a year since we came to the city, and they assured us there's no ordinance. And we feel like that they have been an ordinance drawn that is completely fair to everyone, that totally cuts out any problem that the city may have, enhances the revenue of the city, and doesn't take anyone out of their livelihood either. And so we was very much in favor of the ordinance that is drawn, and we do believe that it will handle all problems. As I've said many times in the past, the problem is it's not there. This is an issue that once it is put in where it would cost somebody something, they're not going to pay this. Those that would pay that is people running reputable business and doing reputable business, and they would then be worth it to them to do it. Any other alternative to us would naturally be a great cut in our livelihood, and as long as we operate, should we decide to turn this down and not go with the permit proposal, then we will request to be grandfathered for the length of time that the city has authorized us to be in business this far. And that was pretty much what I had to say. And if that's not before the floor tonight, that was what we needed to say.
Thank you, Mr. Wood. Yes.
I like the challenges.
Oh, thank you. Oh. Let's give these people a hand. We're accepting money now. Henley?
He just got married. He doesn't have money anymore.
Next item on the agenda is an ordinance accepting a final plat of Carrington Park subdivision into the city of Lowell. Mike? It's Adam Roark with CEI
Yes, sir.
and Mike Solomon.
The reason I'm coming up with Adam, when they came before the Planning Commission, there were a few punch list items that were left. They've done their best to meet those items, but there are two things that have kind of, have been out of their control that they're continuing to work on. And I just wanted to say that, tell you what those things were, tell you that, I think Adam will come up and tell you that he's going to address them, and that we feel comfortable as a planning department to go forward with this with the assurances that we've been given. And basically, what we're working on is, what they're working on is there is a culvert that needs to be added. It caused some flooding with the heavy rains. We've asked that they do a temporary culvert until the street improvements are done. I believe that they're going to be getting with Tony and be working on that. And then we have said that if that doesn't get completed in 60 days, that a permanent solution be put in at that time, or we would rescind the final plat. And the other thing is the street improvements that have to be done. It's a little complicated because the three entities that are working on the street improvements on that side of Concord are this subdivision, Edinburgh subdivision, and the city of Lowell, because we want to take the improvements all the way up to Larson. And we've had a couple of meetings, and we're moving forward with those, but it's taking a little bit longer to get the numbers squared away. We didn't want to hold them up because we didn't, there wasn't anything they've done to hold this back. And we feel pretty confident that they'll take care of these things. They've shown us that they've been working on the other items on the punch list, and we feel pretty good.
Hey, Mike, have we taken out any kind of bond or anything? Or have they taken out any kind of bond to reassure us that?
Not yet. They have offered to do that. We'd rather get the work done and get the road built if we can, and that's what we're going forward with right now. If that can't be done in 60 days, then we would do the bonding.
Okay. I don't know if we can just rescind a final plat, can we? Because once we approve it, I think they can start selling out off lots.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but the final plat, the city has to sign off on the final plat before it's filed at the courthouse. The council has to approve it to give us authority to sign off on it. But just because y'all approve it doesn't necessarily mean we're signing it tomorrow.
That's absolutely right, Tony, and that's done a lot. You don't have much time to mess with in there, 30, 60 days between approval and signing. But a lot of times, if the developer understands and the city staff understands what they're doing, that is pretty common. That they've got to have signatures before they should. The clerk should not file without signatures.
Okay, so that's your protection.
I didn't understand. You have 30 to 60 days to sign it as a city? Is that what you said, Mr. Kicklack?
Marty, what I mean
What
is,
if they don't sign it?
well, if the council approves, and the council knows they're going in there subject to a couple of conditions that city staff is going to make sure get done, and then city staff will arrange for all the signatures to be made, and then the county clerk can file it. And I say 30 to 60 days because if everything falls apart and the developer says, you know what, I'm not working with you anymore, I've got a council vote, I'm going to take a copy of that vote, I'm going to run to the courthouse, I'm going to force you guys to sign based on the fact that the council approved it. That I've never known that to happen, Marty, but that's why I say you want to move pretty quickly. I mean, final plat should be the last thing. There shouldn't be anything left. But these kinds of arrangements are not uncommon. And there's obviously a sort of relationship of trust between staff and the developer or the engineers. And so y'all can trust them to get that done. I just like to see them get it done pretty quickly.
Hey, Tom, can this be taken to the courthouse within 30 days? I think it doesn't have to be 30 days for this ordinance to take effect. Or can they go, if we approve this tonight, they could go tomorrow?
No, they can't go without signatures, though.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is if they got the signatures tomorrow, could they go to City Hall, or do they have to wait 30 days for the ordinance to take effect? Or 40 days?
I think, Keith, approving final plat, you're talking about really would staff have and the mayor have the power to put the signatures on there without waiting 30 days, I guess. I know that when final plat approvals have been challenged by referenda, when referendum are filed to try to overturn the ordinance, they have failed because the courts call them ministerial. Y'all don't really have a choice when you make a final plat approval. It has to be done if the things have been done according to the plans that you approved in preliminary plat. It's not really a legislative function. It's more of a ministerial function. So I guess the cleanest thing, Keith, would be to go ahead and slap an emergency clause on there. That way they could sign it right away. You won't need one tonight because they won't be running to the court. They won't be running to file this plat until they get their culvert done.
Basically, we're requesting conditional approval. It's your approval that we will work with staff and take care of the conditions that have been noted. Otherwise, and that's the way I've experienced it, read into record, is you have conditional approval on staff's recommendation. So you basically have recognized that we are in good faith moving forward to that, and that saves us from coming back next month to the meeting, and we'll be moving forward to take care of all the items prior to that meeting.
Any other questions?
I have no problem with it. I just want to make sure that city staff knows that we shouldn't rush into it until things are done. I know we've always done money in lieu of, or we've always had a bond to protect us in the past when we approve these final plats, where there are some items that haven't been finished yet. So I don't know. You guys said you said that they were looking at doing bonds, just to assure that.
Well, what I would say is that, first of all, they have the certificate of occupancy they can't get until these things are met. So there's that, but there also is, we can get a bond, but like I say, we'd rather go ahead and get the work done, and that's what we're working on now. If that falls through, that's what we're telling them, then we'll have to go back to the drawing board and get a bond.
How long is it going to be on the street improvements? What time frame?
What time frame for them to be finished?
Yeah.
Well, they had wanted, when we first started talking, we wanted to get it done before school started. I don't think that's going to happen now because there have been some delays. So it's really hard for me to say until we get that, until we get that going.
I'd like to just add something. The reason that we're in this predicament is the adjacent property had originally, I think, had an agreement with the city to develop or improve the eastern half of Concord. We, in good faith, had requested to simply pay our portion of that work. The determination for that work never was finalized. Okay. However, since then, there have been some changes in ownership of that property, and now the current owner is considering, I believe, whether or not they will be able to do that. So we are more than happy to improve our section of that road. The bond that we had discussed was simply, it would be much better and beneficial for the city to get those street improvements made at one time under one time frame, do the entire construction under one job, than to have to come in and do it under two separate projects. So I think what we're looking at here is we could bond it for the 60 days. If the adjacent property owner decides to move forward with those improvements, then it'll all be done under one contract. If not, then the bond will allow us to go ahead and move forward with the final plat, start selling the lots. However, as he mentioned, we cannot get a certificate of occupancy without the staff's approval. And at the end of that 60 days, if that adjacent property owner has not decided to move forward with the improvements, at that time we will make those improvements. Does that clear anything up? The improvements will be made. The city has a benefit of getting them all done, the entire project done at once. We're simply being granted a 60-day period to start construction on some of these homes in order to be able to sell those. And again, we can't record the plat to actually define those lots legally until we have the signatures of the mayor and the city representatives. So there are a couple things that we've got to finish up that we have agreed to do within 7 days. So upon those completions that meet staff's requirements, we would be asking the city to sign that plat and then begin to try to record the plat. And then again, we have a 60-day window to make the half-street improvements. If the adjacent property owner has not decided to move forward, we will do them ourselves.
Any other questions? Thank you, Adam. I'll entertain a motion to suspend the rules and place on third and final reading by title only.
So moved.
Second.
Any questions? Roll call.
Darren Brock,
Yes.
Jerry Foley,
Yes.
Carol Harmon,
Yes.
Kamala Lamons,
Yes.
Marty Latham,
No.
Eric Shine,
Yes.
Keith Williams.
Yes.
An ordinance accepting a final plat of Carrington Park subdivision into the city of Lowell. I entertain a motion to approve the ordinance.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Keith Williams,
Yes.
Marty Latham,
No.
Carol Harmon,
Yes.
Kamala Lamons,
Yes.
Eric Shine,
Yes.
Darren Brock,
Yes.
Jerry Foley.
Yes.
This will be ordinance number 793.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda is a resolution authorizing the preparation of certain documents for the subsequent approval of the City Council related to the proposed issuance by the city of tax increment improvement bonds, Redevelopment District Number 1 Project, Series 2007, in aggregate principal amount not to exceed $2,800,000. The bond for the purpose of financing a portion of the cost of acquisition, construction, and equipment of certain street, sidewalks, drainage, water, and sewer systems, park and trail improvements within the district, and prescribing other matters relating thereto. Tony?
I want to introduce Mr. Michael Lindsay, our bond representative, to step and guide us through this procedure, so he'll be able to answer questions that you may have.
The intent of this long-winded title is really just to show your intent to sell these, your willingness to sell a bond issue of par amount not to exceed $2.8 million, and use Morgan Keegan, my firm, as your underwriter, and Kutak Rock as your legal counsel. That's really all it does. It authorizes us to move forward. We've actually got this on our calendar to sell, assuming that this is approved tonight, July 23rd, which is the day before your next meeting. So if you approve tonight, it's at your next council meeting on the the council meeting's on the 24th. We're going to sell it the day before, the 23rd. So at your next council meeting, we'll have the results of that sale, and we'll have a big stack of documents to sign as well. So if there are any questions about the bond issue or about this resolution, I'll do my best to answer.
Anyone have any questions? Do I hear a motion?
Excuse me, I do have a question for Mr.
yes.
Kiplak on paragraph 1, 2, 3, 4, where it says that to authorize underwriters and bond counsel here and after designated in sections 2 and 3 respectively with advance and assistance of the mayor, city attorney, city staff. Who does that include as city staff?
Ms. Harmonby, I think anyone who bond counsel tells us they would need to sign something. In my experience, when we execute that big, thick document that Ms. Lindsay just mentioned, mayor and city clerk need to sign in several places, and then city attorney signs in 4 or 5 places, or city representative. And I'm not sure if Mary ever had to sign anything or not. As finance director, she may have.
Okay.
There's about 100 places. I think the language in the resolutions, sufficient. Here's why I think that, because bond counsel wrote this, and we always trust bond counsel to write it correctly because we know they're the ones who are on the line when these million and multi-million-dollar issues go out. So
okay, thank you.
That's why I tend to not second guess those guys when they write these.
Any other questions? Do I hear a motion, please?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any questions? Roll call.
Marty Latham?
Yes.
Carol Harmon? Yes. Eric Shine?
Yes.
Keith Williams?
Yes.
Darren Brock?
Yes.
Kamala Lamons?
Yes.
Jerry Foley?
Yes.
That will be resolution 07-11.
We'll go back to item A at this time. Interview the candidates for a vacant council seat. Consider an appointment to fill Ward 4 position 2 council seat. In order of application, Curtis Wagner.
I want to thank the council and Mr. Mayor for having me here tonight. My name is Curtis Wagner. I live at 200A Fox Run. Been there for 7 years. We own our own home. I'm a serious-minded person. I'm interested in the government. I attend most of the meetings. And, of course, if I'm approved, it'd be 110%. That's what I do. I don't slack off. I've been a volunteer for about 5 years in the city of Lowell. At the present time, I'm still on 2 committees. I speak at the public forum whenever necessary. I'm a member of the Kiwanis Club for 4 years. And by all means, I'm a good listener. And we need to get out and talk to these people and find out what their needs are. Let them know who the alderman for that ward is. And that's what I'll do. That's all I have.
Thank you. Any questions from the council?
Curtis, did you give your home address on your application?
Yes.
And who do you think is going to be the best qualified? Next to you, who's next?
All of them that applied are good qualified applicants.
Okay, thank you.
Any further questions? Curtis, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Guy Shoemaker.
As you can see, I'm still hopping around on my walker. I got about another 3-4 weeks of that. I applied for the job because, number one, I have the city of Lowell interest in my heart. When anybody asks me where I live, I say I live in Lowell. It's my hometown. It's my home. It's my city. And when I say it's my city, I own property here. I own a couple pieces of property. And I'll do anything to help the city of Lowell grow, because I love it. Otherwise, I'd packed up and I'd moved to Rogers like some other people have. But this is my city, and I'll tell you, I'm proud of it. And the other thing is, I do not need the money. I do not need the money to subsidize my retirement income. My $750 every quarter is going to go into the new City Hall building. And that comes out roughly about $2,000 a year. And I pledge that. And I'm a man of my word, and I mean it, Mayor. I will do the utmost best. I have the time, and I have the money, and I have the knowledge. I don't think there's a person here that has been in as many cities, has attended as many council meetings, planning commission meetings as I have, so, up and down the West Coast, including Alaska. That's about it.
Any questions?
Mr. Guy, I have a question for you. Did you give your home address?
Yes, sir, I did with pride.
And who do you think's the best qualified, besides yourself first?
Well, personally, I think Mr. Hauserman, he has the knowledge that I don't have, which I hope one day to get. He knows the Arkansas statutes. He knows the various codes. He has the knowledge, and I hope to get that.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Guy, thank you very much. Eric Hauserman.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the council, and it's nice to see a few women on the council for a change. I live at 206 Franklin Avenue, Lowell. I have lived here, or owned property, since 1979. I came down here at the invitation of Northwest VOTEC to start the regional fire training program for the 4 counties of Washington, Benton, Madison, and half of Carroll County. I've been around. I've worked with a lot of people over the years, and I've always been told I am a team builder. And I want to work for the city of Lowell like Mr. Schumacher and make it the best community in Northwest Arkansas. Some of the things that I've done in the past, I worked on the annexation with the city for annexing the western part. I redid, at the request of the past mayor, the ward boundaries. And I also, as a result of that, got the city to have approximately $70,000 or $84,000 additional income because we got our population correct, we got our rebates from our sales tax increased, we got our road and city taxes increased. So I think I have shown by my work behind the scenes that I can work very well with the council, the people, and the staff, because we have one of the best staffs in Northwest Arkansas. And I know this from working with many of the fire departments. We've got the best in Northwest Arkansas with our class. Is it 2 or 3 now? Or 3, and it's very easy probably for us to go to 2. Anybody got any questions?
Mr. Hausman, haven't you been to Municipal League before?
Yes, I've been to about 4 years to the Municipal League in the past, both the winter and the summer. This year I did not attend because we were on our trip.
Any other questions?
Mr. Eric, I have a question for you. Did you put your home address on your application?
Yes, ma'am, and my phone number.
Thank you. And who do you think besides yourself is best qualified?
Well, I, without a doubt, will have to agree that Mr. Schumacher is second to me, but he is a very knowledgeable person. But as he said, he calls me every day for a little help on that. So Guy is be my pick if I wasn't going to get it.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Thank you, Eric. Paula Allred.
I'd like to thank the council for giving me the opportunity to apply for the position. I have lived in Lowell 13 years. I live at 409 Center Drive in Lowell. I'm currently a vice president with A&B Financial, the operations center that's located over by the Walmart. I've been with them right at 10 years, and prior to that, I worked as a tech support for Ben Israel for Family Vision Center. So I've had kind of a wide variety of background, particularly with banking experience and with technical development. One of the reasons I'm interested in this position is probably because I have a totally fresh perspective. I lack some of the experience that Mr. Hauserman and Mr. Shoemaker have, but I feel like in some cases that's a benefit. One of the things that I do for the bank is train new people, and it always surprises me how you bring in somebody totally new that maybe has not been involved in the process that's able to add a new perspective. I'm college educated here in Arkansas and enjoy Lowell. We own property here. My husband owns a business, and I've been involved in that actively as well.
Any questions?
Mrs. Allred, did you give your home address on your application?
Yes, ma'am.
And have you attended council meetings before?
I have not.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Yes, Kim.
With you not attending council meetings, did anyone maybe persuade you to say for you to come in to apply?
I am neighbors by Marty. Marty and I live in the same neighborhood, and Marty and I have been friends for a while. Her grandson and my son have been acquainted, so we were acquainted through, children and grandchildren. And some of it is Marty suggested with some of my banking background and customer service background that it might be a nice addition to the council. And to be real honest, my children are finally of the age where I've got a little bit more time available to be involved in something outside my own family. And it was an opportunity I'd like to have.
I've got a question. What is it that really interests you in Lowell as far as when you come onto the council, what do you want to get involved with? What function of the city?
Honestly, I'm very interested in parks and recreational activities for children. I feel like that's something in Lowell that we really don't have, currently offered at this point in time. And my family's very athletic oriented, and that's something that I'm personally interested in. I'd like to assist with decisions as far as the city's concerned for growth.
Any other questions? Paula, thank you very much. Ronald Breland.
My name is Ronnie Breland. I live at 315 Links Drive, apartment 201. I've lived in Lowell for right at 14 years. I baby hunt and have since I lived here. I was born and raised in northwest Arkansas all my life. I've raised 2 kids by myself for almost 14 years. Most everybody on the council knows me, and I ran for council in 2002 against against Sheila Norris, lost by 50 votes, and then against Matt DeLucchi in 2004 and lost, and then most recently against Eric. All 3 was very admirable opponents. And so if the mayor or city council or even the planning commission has any questions they want to ask me, or even Tom, I'll answer any questions anybody has.
Any questions, please?
Ronnie, did you give your home address on your application?
Yes, when I emailed it to all the council members and everything, it was on there. It was on there. I emailed my address to all the council members.
Did you give it to the city clerk?
No, it was emailed to all the council members because when the city clerk emailed me, it was in big bold letters in a statement as not asking, it was telling. And when you tell somebody rather than ask in bold letters, just like I said when I emailed each of you council members, when you put it in bold letters, it is telling a person to do something rather than asking. And rather than asking them to do something. So, I mean, and it was nothing against Jeanette, but it was the way it was said. I mean, but I did email it back, and I give her my mailing address because she said that she had to mail me something,
Okay.
which is where I get my mail, is at the P.O. box.
Okay, thank you. Who do you think is going to be best qualified for the job?
I have studied all kinds of ordinances and everything. And matter of fact, there's all kinds of ordinances that are outdated and everything. And matter of fact, I have a bunch of them right here that are outdated that you would not believe. And that, I mean, you can only charge $10 maximum, and the maximum speed is 15 miles an hour in this town, and the maximum fine is $10.
That's changed.
No.
Yes, it did. It's changed through the county last week.
Well, the city ordinance is right here, and then there's ones for different things all through here. But what I'm saying is, I've got different ones. But what I'm saying is, I would say I would be good qualified, and behind me would be Curtis Wagner, because he does do a lot of volunteer work, and he is a member of the Kiwanis, and he does care about parks just like I do, and sidewalks like I do. I mean, that has been one of my pet peeves, is sidewalks and parks. I mean, that's why I was on a parks committee and helped get the playground equipment over here. And, I mean, I'm very adamant about sidewalks and streets and sewer, but I will work with each and every council member, planning commission, city administration, if I am put on the council, and that's a guarantee. So, I mean, I'm putting it in each and every one of your all's hands to make a decision that, I mean, only you can make. Each and every one of you know me and knows where my heart lies, and that's for the best interest of this town. And, you know, if you want something bad enough, you'll do anything and work towards the best and betterment of the town, and that's what I will do. So, I mean, you have to make the decision.
Thank you, Mr. Whitman. I have no more questions.
Ronnie, thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor.
The council will now enter into executive session to make their decision. Call to order, please. council. I'll entertain a motion to appoint.
Mr. Mayor, I would like to move that we appoint Paula Allred to position 4, seat 2, or Ward 4, position 2.
Do I hear a second? Any questions? Roll call, please.
Marty Latham,
Yes.
Darren Brock,
Yes.
Keith Williams.
Yes.
Carol Harmon,
Yes.
Jerry Foley,
Yes.
Eric Shine,
Yes.
Kamala Lamons.
Yes.
Paula, I'll need to see you after the meeting, please.
Congratulations, Paula. Next item on the agenda is the appropriation, a memo to authorize a transfer of unallocated funds for the purpose of purchasing a surveillance and security camera for the communications tower. Leroy?
Thanks, Mayor. First of all, I'd just like to say thanks again to the council for getting us where we're at on the tower so far. If you haven't noticed, there's a new light in the sky tonight, so they finally got the thing stood up yesterday. We're about a week away, we think, from having it in full operation. Lights on. Turn it up, Ryan. Everything is on schedule. Everything's going the way it should. We're a little bit delayed because of the weather, but we're not the only department having that problem. So we did, through some recent research, find some options on a camera system that we could add to the tower. I felt like we ought to just bring it to you and let you all make a decision on it. I know you don't like quick decisions, but this is the kind of thing that if we're going to do it, we need to do it while the tower people are here, simply because we can get the thing installed basically free. We're asking for an appropriation of $1,500 to put a camera on the tower, which should give us good coverage of all of this park. We feel like it's going to pretty much cover the highway from close to Apple Blossom down to, or up to, not quite Pleasant Grove, but quite a ways up there. I feel like it would be an asset to us for traffic control, of course, for security for the park. We'd also think it would be beneficial in severe weather, as far as anytime we get severe weather in, usually we're sending units out west or wherever to try to watch the weather. We think it would help us with that. Basically, it seemed like a good opportunity to get this installed. I think it's something we'll probably want to build on in the future. But I wanted to bring it to your attention. I think Ryan had a little demo. I don't know where he went, but maybe he'll reappear in a second.
Anyone have any questions?
I don't have a question, but I have a comment. Chief, I think that you guys do a great job, and any tool that you might have to help the citizens and help you guys do your job is definitely an appreciated thing. And moving on this with the people already here doing the work, trying to help us out, I think is awesome.
There he is. I haven't had an opportunity to see what Ryan's got. I know he and I have been doing some fast research to try to get into this thing. We haven't made a decision exactly on equipment yet. We just kind of needed to get the approval to move on with it while the people were here. I think he's going to give you a little example of what it'll do. I think he's going to be showing us live pictures too. So this system actually will, with the proper securities, you can actually log into this camera system from anywhere, control the camera, move it, do whatever you want to do, zoom in.
How far away will this go, Leroy?
I I don't know that I can really answer that. 71B, as I said, shouldn't be any problem.
Wow.
Pretty much zoom in to get what we want. We're hoping to get the busy part and the interchange out at 540.
I guess I do have a question. Does this mean that if we have a small brush fire that somebody's burned something in their backyard, that we won't be sending the whole brigade out for a house fire maybe?
Possibly. If we can see it, we'll look first, So, yeah, that's good.
I can see that that's zooming, but does it pan or does it stay stationary?
It pans.
We can actually, on that tower, we can do about 340 degrees. And the only reason you can't do it full 360 is because the thing's going to be mounted under the platform on the tower. So when you swing around to the tower, it's going to block it.
So it's limited to the distance that it can go. It won't go to my house.
Oh, you don't have to worry.
We'll see.
We'll try.
That's all right, Carol.
Just keep your blind shut,
Yeah.
We won't be able to fight speeding tickets or running a red light anymore.
Sorry?
We won't be able to fight running a red light or speeding tickets anymore.
We see right here, it's kind of hard to see. It's an actual image of the whole 360. So if you want to click on that sidewalk, it'll automatically jump into that area.
So does this record also, or is this just a live monitor?
This little web interface is one interface that you can use with the same camera. On this little interface, you can save a snapshot. This is the actual model camera that we're looking at. We're looking at quite a few different ones. We'll make sure we get the right one.
To answer your question, though, this is a digital type camera, which means it's sending a signal to our computer system, our servers in the city, so that we can actually store that video. And yes, it'll be recording. What we may do to save space on the system would be for the last 24 hours or the last 36 hours or 3 days or whatever we elect, may be all we keep.
Right.
But that's a decision that's
it'd take a lot of space, I'm sure.
that we can make. So
Well, can't you save it to a disk?
once we get the data into the computer, we can do anything we want to do with it.
That's just the camera. The 1500 is just the camera.
Yes.
What about software and those kind of
Software
things?
comes with the camera.
So that's it.
All we have to do is have data storage to store the video, and we have that. So, only other item is feed line from the camera down to the building. Easy, right? And that's a couple $100. We'll pull that out of maintenance somewhere if we have to. But like I say, it's new to us too, but we're pretty impressed with it. I think it's something we very well may want to build on in the future.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm impressed.
I am.
Do any of the other cities around here do this?
I know Rogers is into it quite a bit. Haven't checked with Springdale. It's another one of the things. It's a digital age that's made all this stuff and the iPhone and the iPods and all that possible. So.
And that's at night. And you could actually zoom in on a license plate. That's amazing.
The cameras we're looking at have a day and night mode. During the day, it's full color. But at night, they go to black and white to enhance the video. So they're designed for night use too. You can have up to 16 different network users on the system at once. So fire and police can be sharing.
They can fight over what they want to look at the same time.
Chief Landers, what do you think about this?
Joe, you might elaborate a little on the park vandalism and school vandalism because it's not public knowledge for their information.
Well, I mean, we have had, we've had burglaries at the school. We did have one, I think about 6-8 months ago. We were able to solve that burglary and recover a good part of the stolen property. But, if we would have had this system in place, it would have probably would have saved us $1,500 of legwork then. And then, you know, occasionally we'll have vandalism reported at the park. So if that's all we get is the school and the park, I mean, it's worth $1,500.
Chief Landers, I have to commend you on a job well done in my neighborhood.
That was mostly due to the efforts of one officer who I think deserves to be recognized. And I'm a little jealous because I always wanted a burglary in progress, and I never got one.
Well, you tell him I gave him a big pat on the back.
You did a good job.
Any other questions?
I'd just like to make a motion, sir.
Before you make your motion, you need to consider one thing. Leroy has negotiated this to be installed without any cost to the city. If we don't buy it tonight, Leroy's got to climb the tower and put it up there himself.
Wait a minute, that was...
Hey, now, pay for that.
Do I hear a motion, please?
Yes, sir, I'd like to make a motion.
Second.
Third.
Any comments?
Is that a motion to approve it?
It's the motion to approve, that's what I was getting ready to.
Roll call, please.
Eric Shine.
Yes.
Pamela Lamons.
Yes.
Jerry Foley.
Yes.
Marty Latham.
Yes.
Carol Harmon.
Yes.
Keith Williams.
Yes.
Darren Brock.
Yes.
Will be resolution number, or appropriations number 03-2007.
Next item on the agenda is a resolution authorizing the mayor and city clerk to execute an agreement modifying the water service boundary between the cities of Lowell, Rogers, and Springdale, Arkansas. This has been approved in the past. This is more of a housekeeping document for the city of Springdale. All the paperwork has been done. This is Bill Mann's property, which is in the northwest 40 acres of the city of Lowell. And what this amounts to is just simply housekeeping.
So
Go ahead.
is this going to actually take that parcel of land out of the Springdale water boundary and put it in Rogers? Is that what it is?
Yes. And Rogers has agreed to take them, and Springdale has agreed to let them go. In fact, Springdale has already changed their boundary map. So this is a housekeeping item, basically.
Is Rogers, is that sloped as far as the land? Is that sloped in toward Rogers?
Yes.
Yes.
So that way a lift station won't have to be provided to pump the sewer
No.
to Springdale? Okay.
No. All right. Any questions?
I'd like to move to approve this resolution.
I'll second.
Any questions or comments? Roll call.
Darren Brock.
Yes.
Eric Shine.
Yes.
Carol Harmon.
Yes.
Jerry Foley.
Yes.
Marty Latham. Yes. Keith Williams.
Yes.
Pamela Lamons.
Yes.
That will be resolution number 07-12.
I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Do we want to set committee meetings?
Oh,
Tom wants to set some committee meetings, is what I'm seeing over there.
Tom wants to set the...
I seconded the motion to adjourn.
And it precedes all of the motions.
Are there any committees that want to set a meeting tonight?
Do we need to set an ordinance committee? I'm sorry, Tom.
We do.
I know it breaks your heart.
It's for 4 o'clock this morning. Coming up. 4 o'clock.
You want to do one at 4 o'clock in the morning? I could do it. Seriously, you guys want to meet next week? Maybe a Tuesday night,
17th.
the 17th, 6 o'clock. And this is a great place to have meetings here in the courtroom. So we'll have it here.
And what will be reviewed at this meeting?
I think Tom's got some things for us to look at.
Any other committee meetings?
I have a question. When's the water committee going to meet? Utilities, Tony?
The Water and Utilities Committee and the Street Committee will probably be meeting in a couple weeks. We have I received the priority data on projects for the city of Lowell. A lot of people didn't respond. We had council members that did not respond. We had committee members that did not respond. So we're moving on to make up the list, and we'll get the committee together and go over it at that time. And it'll probably be a couple weeks before we get that done.
Well, somewhere I have written on my calendar for some reason that we would go over the priorities and the results on the 12th.
Yeah, but we canceled that meeting. That date, I think on the 12th, was that's the mayor's forum. That's Thursday night. I had my forum Thursday night.
On the 12th, I've got a chambers work session. Are we going to do that again? Is there one of those on?
Michael?
Isn't the mayor's forum on the first Thursday?
Second.
Second Thursday.
Second Thursday of each month, 5:30.
No. They had originally scheduled that for the 12th, but Beth's been out of town, and we need to reschedule. And
so that's off?
Yeah, that's off. But if you would put it on your calendars for the 25th at noon here in the courtroom, there's going to be there's a developer that wants to talk about a project that he wants to do, and I'll be sending you all invitations, but I wanted
Who wants to talk about it?
The developer.
This planning meeting.
For a planning meeting.
Any other questions?
Do we need to have a Parks Committee meeting? Do we have anything to discuss as far as, has Sean really, has he gotten things?
I don't think he's quite ready yet. He is working on it, Keith.
Okay.
Haven't done anything about that. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
If no objections, the meeting is adjourned.